I'm Shalom. This is your brother Kwam Wa'ala coming at you with another lesson. Before I get into this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rahah Kodash. Also, I want to give double honor to my elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who teach this truth and who rule well. Kazak Shalom to the hopeful elect. And right here, I have an article on NBC News, all right, which Trump is stating that slavery wasn't as bad, as the government or the Smithsonian's is portraying it to be. All right, which we know, slavery, we served hardcore bondage under these damn devils. It's a lot of stuff that's not even being reported, to what they have actually done. Stuff has been coming out later with their evil deeds and works, but the scriptures talk about, shameful spewing shall come upon their glory. So Esau is not being looked at, that a hierarchy, man in this world, he's being seen as the devil that he is. All right, he wants to hide, his works, but the whole thing is you are being made bare. All right, all your works is being shown. All right, the heathens, everybody is seeing you for who you really are, But I'm going to read, it says, Trump says the Smithsonian focused too much on how bad slavery was. It says a White House official told NBC News that Trump plans to expand his review of museums beyond the Smithsonian's, which is based in Washington, D.C. All right, they want to hide. He wants to go and make an inquisition on, all the stuff that's out there that they did, all right, during the time of slavery, and they want to hide it. They've been wanting to take, slavery out the history books, and now, like I said, he's being revealed for what he has done. The scriptures talk about how his bones is full of the sins of his youth. All right, even from the time of Cain, man, all the way to now. All right, now you are being revealed. But reading on, it says President Donald Trump said Tuesday that he has ordered his attorneys to conduct a review of Smithsonian's museums, calling their portrayal of U.S. history too negative and focus too much on how bad slavery was. Trump said he would subject the museums to the exact same process his administration has conducted of universities, with the goal of making the Smithsonian's less woke. All right, he wants, like I said, everybody to not know, America's history. All right, he wants to think, well, he wants the people to think that he's a great light bearer. All right, looked at as the man of wisdom. All right, for a time you were, that's Luke 16:8. All right. It say the children of this world was wiser at this time than the children of light, and we are the children of light, the true illuminated ones, the true light bearers. All right, now this is the time of everybody waking up, to the truth. All right, everybody seeing that you the damn devil, man, and not to trust you. All right. It says a White House official told NBC News on Tuesday night that Trump plans to extend his review of museums, it says, beyond the Washington-based institution, saying that the president will hold the Smithsonian's accountable and then go from there. All right, that's the whole thing. Esau is against Esau. All right, now things are coming out. All right, their own tongue is falling upon themselves. All right, but at the end of the day, we gonna be happy, all right, to speak about the bondage, all right, that we about to put y'all into captivity, well, into captivity, because y'all have put us into captivity, so it's only right, man. I'm gonna go to Isaiah chapter 14, and that's not just you, Esau, all you nations. Scriptures talk about what nation haven't had their hand in a part of it, basically, in what, roughly paraphrasing, putting us into captivity. We've been scattered throughout the earth, throughout time, all right? And each nation had us to build up their kingdom. All right, now We about to put y'all into subjection, every one of you. This is Isaiah 14:2. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. That's y'all going into servant bondage, servitude, being up under us. All right, serving our wants and needs. All right. It says, we're gonna make y'all hewers of wood and water. It says, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they should rule over their oppressors. Y'all all at one point in time was our oppressors. We was captives up under y'all. All right. But like the scriptures say, what the captive exile hasten to be loose. All right, we soon about to be loosened from up under y'all through our big brother Yahweh Shah. All right, and soon we're gonna be set what in our kingdom, like the disciples will be turned into apostles. Acts about in Acts 1:6. All right, so we're gonna rule over our oppressors. Man. Psalms chapter 2 and verse 8. All right, it says, "Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance." All right, because why? All right, we're gonna be joint heirs with Yahweh Shah in His kingdom. All right, anything He said, anything you ask it in my name, that will He do. All right, and we want you heathens. All right, we're gonna remember all the times, all the lifetimes, what y'all did, all the cruel acts, even up until now, because we're coming into the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, where all you nations is still incensed, and hot, all right, against us, especially what we teaching, what we out here professing right now. All right, that we got next, and y'all going into captivity. All right, so mainly Esau, he gonna try to get off his last hurrah, but you nations, all right, the UN, all right, you malicious groups, you sleeper cells, y'all gonna try to get active, but we're gonna see how it all play out. All right. But yeah, Psalms 2:8, it says, "Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession." We're gonna have Mount Seir. All right, Esau, you ain't gonna be able to go home like the other nations will. All right, we're gonna have that land. Matter of fact, we ultimately gonna own the whole earth. All right. Matter of fact, the scriptures talk about how we're gonna be bringing in the forces of the Gentiles. Our gates gonna be open continually. All right, we're gonna have the best of y'all gold, y'all women. All right. I'm gonna go to Daniel, chapter 2, verse 44. It says, "And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom, which is Yahweh Shah's kingdom." All right, it says, "which shall never be destroyed." All right, people think that Esau gonna try to come back into power after 1,000 years, teaching false doctrines, but we gonna be basically like Superman. All right, we're gonna be gods on the earth. How ain't nobody gonna be able to do nothing. We gonna know their thoughts. We gonna be able to stop them in their tracks. They all right, they're gonna be weak. They're gonna be as ants to us. All right, we'll crush them. Like the Lord said, we are His battle axes and weapons of war. All right, He said, with you, I will break in pieces the kings of nations, man. All right. It says, "In the kingdom," it says, "and the kingdom shall not be left to other people." All right, we gonna have next forever. It says, "But it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever." Because when the Lord come back, like to speak about in Psalms 110:5, the Lord of thy right hand shall strike the kings in the day of His wrath. All right, that's what's coming. I'm gonna go to, I believe that's Psalms 139. Let me see. No, Sloppy. Let me see. This is Psalms 147. see, it's 149. Yeah, Psalms 149, and I started 5. It says, "Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds," because we're gonna soon be entering to rest into our kingdom. All right, but we ain't got to worry about nobody coming against us. All right. It says, verse 6, it says, "Let the high praises of Yahweh be in their mouths and a two-edged sword in their hand," because the Lord is going to let us finally execute judgment on these heathens, man. It says, verse 7, "To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishment upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with feathers of iron." All right, you could see images on Google of slavery, how Esau had Jake and chains, whips on his backs, hands cut off, you know. Like I said, all the atrocities is coming out that Esau has done. All right, you have to pay for all that, man. All right, scriptures talk about how we're going to meditate terror on you. All right, it says, "To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of irons." All right, we're going to be locking y'all ass up, putting y'all in cages, making y'all work from sun up to sun up. All right, and the only time y'all gonna be able to rest is on Shabbat. All right, and how y'all, man, fake meat. Y'all trying to feed people insects and shit, man. Defiled creatures. All right, what you think your meal is gonna be? All right, it might be lawful, but it ain't gonna be enough. All right. But verse 9, it says, "To execute upon them the judgment written, this honor have all his sins." It's going to be an honor to execute judgment on you heathens, man. You know? This is what we waiting for, you know? Yeah, right here. Isaiah 60:11 says, "Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall be not shut day or night, that man may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought." All right, y'all, the upper elites, y'all going into slavery, y'all gonna be serving the most. All right, and then all y'all forces, y'all wealth, your women. All right, we don't need your knowledge. All right, that's gonna be coming continually. All right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna end it with this. Revelations 13. It says, "He that leadeth into captivity." All right, like I said, the scriptures talk about how every nation had a part in their hand, or in the hand of putting us into captivity. All right, so all y'all gonna have to go into captivity. All right, y'all gonna serve captivity for 1,000 years. We're gonna let y'all return to y'all land, and then forever, y'all gonna bring in all your forces. All right, it says, "He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword." All right, y'all gonna have to get judged for what y'all have done. Whatever we decide to do in righteousness and cut you up, bring slaughter you. All right, like the scripture said, "Prepare slaughter is we slaughter you." All right, and then bring you back to life and slaughter you again. All right, that's the judgment. That's gonna happen, man. We're gonna use the sword, man. All right, we might just obliterate you. You know, we're gonna have powers, man. But it says, "Here is the patience of all." It's like it says, "Here is the patience and the faith of his saints." All right, this is the patience we suffer in these times. All right, but this is the trial of our faith, because we already know, you know, what our end is going to be. All right, Balaam seen the end. All right, he said he wished that his end could be like ours, man. But at the end of the day, he's a heathen, and it ain't. And they all gonna be going into captivity. Hey, Balaam seen, all right, how great and glorious our kingdom is gonna be. All right, scriptures talk about how he said that we ain't gonna be reckoned among the heathen, man. We ain't gonna be fucked with. All right, they ain't gonna be able to fuck with us. All right, they gonna, matter of fact, they're gonna flow unto us. All right, for wisdom and knowledge and order. All right, and if they don't, we're gonna beat them. All right, so that's what you nations got for to look to. And with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the Lord's elect. Until next time, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rahak Wadash. Also, again, double honor to my elder apostles and elder bishops and great millstones teach this truth and who rule well. Kazak Shalom to the hopeful elect.